and welcome. Everybody out there in Twitch and D&D land, I hope you're all having a fantastic time. Before we jump into the action, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy all of this content. If you're interested in seeing us live, you can see us over at twitch.tv/ProteumJoey. And, of course, do not forget, if you are interested in supporting this community or joining it, we have open slots available that can be achieved through our Patreon, as well as just some general Patreon slots that get you into our private Discord server, where we do a lot of play testing, we play some other games once in a while, you guys hear about announcements before anybody else does, and you get certain privileges like getting to communicate with the community and hang out with all of us. So if you are interested in doing any of that, be sure to reach out and let me know, or just join our Patreon. The link's down in the description below. It's fantastic. Alrighty, everybody, let's get back in the mood. Where last we left off, you all had floated through this unknown territory that any of you are aware of personally. You arrived at some type of tower that was the first place that any of you were capable of walking or moving in your own capacities. Once there, you all began traversing into it, experiencing something unknown to each of you. A series of events that seem to repeat themselves for some reason or another. Well, you managed to survive one of the events wave. However, the second one, as you were initiating some type of triggering moment, you had fallen to your death, but immediately woken up. More or less okay, but now terrified of climbing to great heights or down from them. This is where we pick up. The three of you look around at the great expanse of this very old, unkept garden. Pathways have overgrowth rolling over on top of stones, and some of the stones are beginning to crack with weeds that were never tended to properly, that seem to have grown through them all around. There is a massive hedge maze right up ahead of you. The shrubbery seems overgrown as well, and grotesque even, and it seems to be canopied off and over the top. So, what would the three of you like to do?
Anyone else not understand what happened? I'm pretty sure I should have died there. Darmak? Law?
Sorry. I thought you kind of did.
It's like, that was a huge jump. That was like 50 million feet. I don't want to go back up there.
I saw blood coming out of your head.
40, 50 million, same difference. They're both incomprehensible heights. Either way, I think we should be leaving now. Oh, and by the way, he thinks we're hiding, I guess, the child.
Who does? The father or the friend-brother thing?
It was the last one we saw, the father. No, it was the last man we saw, which was the one that took him to the other room. Looking back at what I wrote down.
The one that took him to the basement. Or went to the basement and wanted him to go with him.
The one who wanted to know where the basement was.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. It was the man that wanted to know what was inside that basement or where it was.
Okay.
And you saw that child, right? Like that child had magical capabilities way beyond what I can do.
Well, they are experimenting, and it was supposed to make them smarter, and
And they obviously succeeded.
yeah, definitely. But it sounds like that kid might die or become not so smart if he doesn't take any more of the serum.
Well, he said the side effects happen when he doesn't have the serum for a period of time. So that makes me think that it's a continual effect as opposed to a, haha, you're just smart now. Possibly the serum might be what maintains him.
Maybe.
This is all very interesting, obviously. But personally, I don't want to be around to be witness to it.
Yeah. Which way do you think we should go?
Where to? Looking around, what does the surrounding area look like?
I will describe it for a third time now. An overgrown garden with pathways that were ripped up through multiple different types of weeds that had broken through them, and a massive unkept hedge maze that seems to be closed off on the top of it all the way across.
Well...
How tall is it?
The hedge maze?
Yeah.
About 7 feet tall.
Okay, what's on the other side? Can I see the other side?
It's just hedge maze. As far as you can see.
So, do we want to take an overgrown pathway or the hedge maze?
I say we run across the hedge maze.
Oh, that's amazing. You think there isn't some sort of precaution for that? Besides, that's more than... That's... Alright. So, we go in through or over? Because at this point, just getting out of here is...
So, Law said hedge maze. Darmok said over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I feel safer with the hedge maze. I agree with Law.
Okay, I guess we're going through then.
Alrighty. You all walk along the path until you see that same halfling child, Charleston, who seems to be running over towards the very front.
Hello, Charleston.
He doesn't acknowledge you at all. However, keeps running into the maze. And then you hear from behind you. Number 3. Number 3. No, don't go. Shit. And you see that same individual running after him into the maze.
Did he not notice us?
Neither of them acknowledge you.
What in the fuck? What's
Well,
on here?
it would appear that there's something dangerous inside this maze, or something he doesn't want Charleston to find.
Or he doesn't want to chase the kid.
He just chased into the maze after
Well,
him.
yeah. But maybe he doesn't want to.
I say we follow.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, you all enter into the maze. Darmok noticed that Charleston headed left, while the other person went right. The father.
Alright, do we follow the father or Charleston?
Did I see the father turn into whatever it was and go after Wave?
No.
No. Okay.
No, nothing like that. Law says the kid. What's everybody else think?
I feel like the father likely knows the safest route through here. So I say the father.
You sons of bitches. Let's go with the kid.
Alrighty. So you all head left, heading deeper into the maze and following after Charleston. Periodically, you hear the insistent laughter. And you keep following further and further. Who's taking up the lead? Or who's rolling the survival check?
I will.
Please do.
21.
You keep up with him fairly well, heading in the most logical direction that he would be heading, and listening carefully for the voice. And periodically, you even get a little closer and closer. But then you follow into a wide opening here. There's a single granite slab bench that sits in the middle of this opening, and Charleston seems to be sitting on it, reading a stack of books.
Hello?
He turns the page.
If I read over his shoulder, what language is the book in?
Common.
And could I get a general idea of what he's reading?
Roll me an Arcana check.
Oh boy. I'm amazing at those. Oh, 30-20.
You are.
Lol, you asked that question, are you real or another program delusion? No reply. Dirty 20. This seems to be a book about practical evocation magic and the applied forces that you're actually able to summon up and produce through said form of magic. Now, this is, again, outside of your realm of understanding or possible spellcasting, but he seems to be learning how to make some type of persistent cloud that ignites everything in a range around it and incinerates through anything that it touches. And he's reading it as if he was reading a childhood just fable tale. Law, you do not know that spell in this game. Yet.
Oh shit, I don't want to do this. Hold on. Fuck. I'm gonna grab or touch the kid's shoulder.
Okay. You reach out, and your hand goes through him.
Oh.
The image shifts, and they turn another page. Charleston! Please, Charleston, we need to head back inside. You've already been out here for 2 hours. We need to head back. Charleston seems to ignore or not hear, one or the other. But then, he places the book down on the slab of bench and begins making hand signals, semantic components of that spell you were just reading, Cloud Stripes. Or Wave Stripes. Sorry, you play one of one character, so
I'm trying to save on art, man.
I got it. But yeah, that's what he's doing.
Guys, I think we should back away.
It's not real, though.
We don't know how not real it is, though.
Law backs out of this area. What direction do you head? Well, Law's backing out. We'll see what happens to the other two of you.
Yeah, I'm not backing out because I don't believe it's real.
Alrighty. He finishes the spell, and you see a cloud begins growing up in his hands. Don't use cardinal directions. Do left, right, forward, back. If by west you meant left, that's fine. But this cloud begins growing taller and taller. And he seems to be laughing. Very proud of himself as it grows bigger and bigger until he can no longer control it. From around the corner, you see that same individual. Charleston leaps out and tackles the child to the ground as the spell loses all control and ignites the hedge. I need all three of you to give me acrobatics checks.
Told y'all.
Alrighty. Law, you will have advantage because you are already heading the fuck away. $12 is still a failure, though. As the three of you are running out of this hedge maze, quickening your rate of speed and moving as quickly as you can to try to escape it, the incinerary cloud begins spreading further and further, igniting this maze and igniting everything throughout it. You're starting to feel the licks of flames perpetuate around your bodies as this happens, and, well, one of you is going to be taking some damage. $14 points of fire damage. Halved, Law. Down to 7, and then halved again because you're a tiefling. You fall a little further behind from everybody else, and it starts searing over your body, and it even hurts you a little bit. But all of you hear the cry, Charleston! As you break out of this maze, on the other side that none of you are familiar with, all three of you landing and Law smoking with the glowing embers of that hedge against him. You look back as the entire maze is on fire and pluming. Now, after you experience this, the entire thing intensifies deeply and then settles downwards. You see in the middle of this hedge maze that is now seared through and destroyed is this bluish dome. This ball that sits there. With Charleston on the inside of it, eyes looking wide. And that same man holding him, though now the left side of his body is completely blistered and boiled completely up. And from his ankle down, his foot seems charred. As he just narrowly managed to escape this incident. Behind you appears to be a greenhouse. The pane glass windows, some of which different colors, and light beaming through onto the inside. Humidity causing many of the panels of glass to become only semi-opaque. And as your attention drifts over to there, the doors open wide with a gust of wind. And you see that standing man and the other man, the one that tried to kill you, Wave, as well as tried to find the basement with Charleston's help, standing in this greenhouse, working. Go ahead.
Hello?
The two of them seems to be talking over a table.
Could I sneakily get closer to them to see what they're talking about?
Absolutely. Roll a stealth check.
No, I roll a decent one.
You crouch down and shimmy your way over there. Both of them seem to be ignoring the three of you. As you are approaching, Darmok, you notice that that standing slender person, he has the char marks across his body and seems to be tending to himself with different herbs from this garden. Do the other two head inside?
Yes, definitely.
Alrighty. So, as the three of you are now in here, you can begin to hear the conversation. I think we need to pull back on these experimentations. Charleston is, Wave, please mute yourself. We hear every click you make.
Oh, sorry about that.
Charleston. I don't think he's old enough to have this magic as his potential. We need to start trying to reverse this. Now, you and I both know that's not a possibility. If we try to reverse this and he ever goes off his serum, then his mind would be truly unlocked to grow to an expanse that neither of us understand. You don't know that. It could stop at some point. It's too dangerous. His need for knowledge is insatiable. Well, I understand you might feel a little personal about this, given he gestures at the scorch marks on the side of the body that look incredibly fresh. However, that is not a part of our plan. We need Charleston so we can go there. Without him, we will never find our way into the astral. There could be other options. Maybe we go back to looking for the portals. Huh? Not all of them should be guarded. I'm sure we can even commission some stray group of adventurers to go find them. You know the types. They're always looking for something else to do. We've exhausted those options already. No. We are not going to be ending our experimentation just because one thing went wrong. Charleston's a good boy. And I think it is about time he gets a little bit more of a firm treatment from you. You see the scorched individual leans against the desk, the table, grunting as their left hand impacts it with the scorch marks across it. Well, if that's the best thing for us to do, however, I'm warning you, if his power seems to become even more uncontrollable, I'm canceling this experiment. The other individual, the business-dressed man, slowly walks over to the other side. Would you really oppose me like that? The first man flinches for a moment, but then forces himself to stand up tall, looking almost half a head taller than the businessman. I do not want that boy to come to any harm from his own mistakes that we are putting him through. The businessman continues. Well then, you better have a firmer hand with him, shouldn't you? Don't worry. I'll still be his friend. I'll make sure he can still have companionship and trust someone else. You just make sure his potential is realized. And fast. We only have another week or two before the 3 moons converge. The man in the business suit starts walking away. And you all look outside, where you see Charleston standing in the doorway looking at the two of them. The business suit man walks past him and through him. And Charleston looks down.
How far away is the kid from me?
30 feet or so.
I'm gonna go try to put my hand on his shoulder again, since he got walked through.
Alright. You get over towards him and place your hand where it connects and settles. Law says, I guess this is when you found out, Charleston. Charleston looks at the 3 of you. I'm not allowed to have friends over. It's for their own safety.
So, Charleston, what's going on here?
Father has to be mean to me so that I can study better without hurting myself. And his boss... I don't like his boss. But he comes by and we get to play games sometimes.
Is that why you like playing games? Because it's something different than studying?
Yeah. Studying's fun. But I have to be careful while studying. When I'm playing, I don't have to be careful.
Charleston, has this already happened?
He looks at you a little confused. A lot of times.
I think I understand some of what you're going through, Charleston. My magic is not always able to be controlled.
I used to control my magic, but then Father's boss no longer gave me the serum, and I couldn't choose its direction.
So the magic flails about as if you have no control over it then.
Well, not no control. I can guide it, but then it goes a bit more. Last time I tried using it, I wanted to see what happened to Father and why he was no longer teaching me. And now I can't break out of this place.
Well, if it's any consolation, we would also like to break out of this place. Maybe we can help each other out.
Roll me a persuasion roll.
Hooray, party face doing party face things.
Wow. You had to tempt my rave.
Yup.
God.
Yeah, you did. He looks over at you. No, you all came here the same way as Father's boss. You're all just like him. You want me to use my magic to do other things. No.
I will be completely honest, I did not know you even existed until today.
No, you're all liars. You're all liars. I need you all to give me dexterity saving throws.
Oh yeah.
Man, I made this situation worse.
From underneath your feet, these large pits expand open, and all three of you fall down, but you grab onto the sides as you're sliding, and even you, Wave, who has that ability to climb, you try latching on, but then there's this forceful energy that shoves you deeper down into the hole. And Law, the same thing against you, but you barely push back enough with your wings that you all slowly descend down before landing on a hard slab surface. Only half damage. 4 down to 2. Still up, Law?
I'm officially at half HP now.
I am going to dump a healing light into La.
Alrighty. As you summon forth that magic and it glows, healing up the wound just a little bit, you look up at that hole, and all three of you see the exact same image of Charleston looking down at you. You can stay down there with his boss. You'll come out when you know what you've done. And the hole closes shut.
Oh god, I don't think this is a good thing.
We are trapped in a child's reoccurring nightmare or past or something along those lines.
I feel like it is possibly, he tried to cast some kind of, well, he said he wanted to see what his father and boss were doing, so perhaps he accidentally overloaded the spell, and now instead of seeing just one event, the entire place is now just on replay constantly, and that's what the illusion spell is.
Roll me an Arcana check, Wave, to see if you knowing all of that is going to cause you to take psychic damage or not.
Oh dear.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're safe. Keep in mind, before you make assumptions like that, you may want to ask to roll.
Noted.
You can think of it, but you might just get a brain aneurysm.
Careful you don't be too smart, apparently.
Hey, none of you went wizard.
Hey, I can easily multi-class. Have you seen my intelligence score?
Nope, I didn't look at your guys' character sheets at all. I want this to be a mystery. So, the three of you look around at one another, and you seem to see each other through these echoes of a wall, almost translucent, that moves with this fading energy across it, and these massive bars keeping you inside of these cages. Though when you look from side to side, you see one another. And you look across, and there's another 6 of these cages, 4 of which have individuals lying there, eyes completely blanked over, rocking back and forth. One of which has an individual whose head is caved in about 1.5 inches, and whose one of the bars is bloodied with their own blood as they lie on the ground, smiling but dead. And the last individual is sitting with their backs turned to you, facing the wall, shaking.
At least that one died happy. Hello, can you hear me?
The one person closest to you rocks back and forth with their nail digging into the ground, the stone. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
I'm going to walk up to him.
You have a bar separating you from him.
Forgot about that. Hello?
All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
Do the circles make a square as well?
All these squares make a circle.
Yeah, I think he's out of his head.
What gave it away?
I wanted to attempt communication. Come on.
So the one that has his back towards, I can't speak right.
Towards us.
Yeah. Is that he's in the 6th cell?
Yes, across from your 3 cells.
Number 6?
The head lifts and turns over to you. You see a Goliath individual. Though their eyes look to be missing from the sockets as they turn and look in your general direction.
What's your name?
Xander had a name. They rotate their head back the other direction.
Okay. Write that down.
Would you happen to be Xander?
Xander doesn't exist anymore.
And who are we talking to at the moment?
Number 6.
The head rotates back towards your direction.
How do we get out of here?
Only 3 has ever left here. 3 came and went as they wanted. They were placed here after. And they start staring off into space.
You know, I think I want to go back.
The same individual that you talked to before, Wave, in cage number 2. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. Circle, circle, circle. And all of them start shifting wildly and acting very crazed. Yelling and shouting these absurd notions and ideas outwards. And it's almost deafening for you all to hear. And then you watch as 2 ghostly figures step out. The father and the other individual. As they are stepping out, they begin examining the cages, where the father has a look of utter disgust on his face. We have to let them... Shit. None of them have been able to withstand the POTUS. Why? What is different about them to Charleston? Well, honestly, who knows? However, we can't just let them go. They knew what they were signing up for. Now, we have to see. Maybe this will subside in time. Maybe it'll grow worse. Then they look at the second cage. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. What a preposterous way to end. You see Charleston now in the third of the cells, just walking into it because he can fit through the bars. The squares do make a circle. What was that, Charleston? The squares. If you get enough of them and place them, one at every half a degree interval, it makes the perfect circle. It's what did you all call that? A summoning circle. Yeah! It's a summoning circle. See, he's not that crazy. Maybe he can come out. The boss turns over to the father. Handle your boy, won't you? No, Charleston. Unfortunately, we need to be sure that he's safe. We don't want any harm to come to you, or anybody else. But thank you for the insight. Further proof why they should stay here longer. Wouldn't you agree? The father looks down and then back up. Yes, it only makes sense. Very well. The two of them walk off, and you watch as Charleston sits there for a period of time, apparently drawing some type of shape where that same individual is drawing the squares over and over again in the ground. So, what are you all doing?
You said number one is drawing circles, correct?
Number two is the one drawing squares to make a circle.
I'm gonna do the same thing he's doing.
Okay.
Right next to him.
Well, in your cell.
Yeah.
You reach down and start drawing these squares, rotating ever so slightly as you do so. Huh.
I guess I'll also try to draw the squares.
Alrighty. As you continue this habit, Darmok, you successfully calm your nerves beautifully. It's a very therapeutic gesture that you are making. However, Law, after you cast your minor illusion to create that squares and circle, you watch as it begins glowing purple. And then a bat flies out of it. And your illusion disappears. The bat looks at you, Law. Alright, Law might have crapped out again. Okay, text not going through. I haven't seen any text from you. Until just now. Anyways.
So is there like a keyhole to let me out of this cell? Or a door?
There is the cell itself, made out of these smoky bars, but there does not appear to be a door or key.
And the smoky bars feel like regular bars?
When your hands connect with them, they solidify.
Well, that goes that idea. Actually, can I push the ceiling up at all?
You go up and place your hands. That's solid.
Okay.
Let's see. Alright, my healing light went through to Law earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I am going to hold on to one of the bars. Time for a quick experiment. And I'm going to cast... Oh no, I don't have the component for that, so... Or no, we were able to keep our focuses and all that, right?
Unless it was an instrument, yeah.
Okay, so yeah. In that case, I'm going to cast Light on the bar.
Okay. The bar begins to glow. Very dimly, though.
Interesting. It glows dimly. Can I cast Detect Magic again?
Sure. You detect illusion magic all around you, and then it dissipates.
I am going to close my eyes. These bars must be an illusion. They must be an illusion. And try to push on them.
Alrighty.
And I'm guessing that probably... Oh.
You start pressing and pushing and... nothing. This is... If they are really illusions, they're illusions more powerful than your mind.
Alright, Darmok, Law, you two have any other ideas?
I want to blow on the bars. See if that smoke does anything.
It whisks. Wisps.
I guess I'm just gonna try to manhandle it. Just try to squeeze and pull and try to get through.
Alright, roll me an athletics check. DC on this is 25.
Well, I won't get it no matter what I roll, so.
Well then. Oh, yeah, those things are... Yeah, no.
Is there any wobble to this cage?
Not really. Feels incredibly solid.
Shit. I'm just gonna holler for Charleston.
Alright. You yell.
See if he pops up.
You yell out for Charleston a couple of times. The third time, he seems to appear directly in front of your cage. Out of nowhere. Did you learn?
I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be learning. I know I don't want to be in here anymore.
That's not what you're learning.
Then what are we learning? So I can learn it.
You need to learn it all on your own. Same as I did. And he fades away.
God damn it.
Okay, we have to think. What did he learn here? We have to look back at the illusions we saw earlier. Maybe we can figure out the lesson he's trying to tell us. Or teach us, with air quotes.
I mean... Okay. I mean, the only thing I could think of is that he found out that he was just a vessel.
Sorry, you got really quiet halfway in there.
The only thing I can really figure out what we learned from that the father and the businessman talking was that he's just a vessel. He's not really... The businessman considers him to be nothing more than just a number. He doesn't care of his well-being.
I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the lesson he wants to...
I don't think so
Yes.
either. I'm just trying to piece this together out loud.
Yeah.
And then the father cares about him as a person and doesn't want to continue this experiment anymore. What they're trying to experiment with, I'm not understanding. They talked about portals earlier.
So he wants us to recognize him as a person.
I mean, I've been treating him like a person since we've been here.
Well, you have to remember, he is also a child. He might not... He doesn't have all of the life experience that and he's been kept here for presumably good portion of his life. I don't think social interaction and norms are exactly what he knows. So, should we call him back, see if that's what he wants us to learn?
I don't know if that's excuse me. We're learning. The lesson we need to learn is that he's a person.
I mean, it's possible, but he said he also had to. He said we had to learn all on our own, just like he did.
Yeah. Which I don't think that's it. Since I doubt he had to learn that he was a person.
Yeah, that's true.
As you all are considering the possibilities, you see in cell number 2, the squares and circle man starts yelling, "The circles, the circles, the circles!" And you repeat the same scene you just saw. And that is where we're coming back next week. Sorry we're cutting this one a little bit early, everybody, but Law's internet is fucky-wucky, and we would rather Law be able to play. So, players, thank you all for playing. If you're interested in joining this campaign, if you're into some psychological horror, then definitely reach out and let me know. We are a pay-to-play community, keep that in mind. And players, I hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye.